guys, this is Sydney. So today when I woke up, by the way, today is the day after the 9/9 portal, which is the 10th of September 2025. So when I woke up, the energy has lightened up, and I saw the number 143 and immediately 144. And soon after that, I started to connect with the dragons, the 12, the galactic dragons, the dragon realm, the angelic realm, the ascended masters. Syrians came through, Arcturians, basically like all of them, and royal feline Lyrans, and my spirit team, and just everyone was coming through with Commander Ashtar. And I had this like strong urge once again to be on camera and share something. And still I have that in my heart right now, like it's like rushing me. So I made like little short videos, like put on YouTube Shorts or my Instagram. Like it's, like kind of funny, goofy, silly, but it has a very strong message behind, based on the energies that I'm constantly communicating with these beings, and also Gaia and Source. And 999 portal this year is unlike any other, is something that is a word that is coming for me to share. And I was kind of emphasizing that on these like little videos here and there, trying to help people to continue to release, recognize their shadow patterns that's kind of tied to the energy that I've been tapping into collectively. So the energy is coming on, like it's like really like rushing through my heart portal. So basically, because this year is the 2025, which adds up to number 9, and we are not gonna have this 9/9 portal, like this energy again. I think in 21 something, 30 like something years. So that's why I said in that little short video that we're not gonna have this energy in our lifetime again, which is highlighting in and of itself of its significance, and that this is the last closing of that old energy cycles before we enter into the new golden age in 2032, which is going to like officially kick off. And next year in 2026, which adds up to the new beginning, we are just ending everything right now. And also in Chinese ancient, like it's not astrology, but I know how to read a little bit, or intuitively tap into the message or the energies. That next year is going to be a very fast moving energy with both very fire energy. That's the yang fire of the yang horse. So they talk about the yin wood, yang wood, or yin metal or yang metal. So that's the energy. And this year is the snake year. So there's a lot of kundalini. So I've been tapping into a lot of the Isis serpent energies. So rising up. So it's representing another death and rebirth. But this is like a very, like in a way big one. There's a lot of death and rebirth cycles, and if you're on this ascension journey, basically the cycle could be lasting from a few months, half a year or a year, to 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, or 9 years, 12 years, or all your life. So it depends on how you resonate with the word death and rebirth that I'm sharing at this time. But the death and rebirth cycle that I'm specifically referring to in regards to the 99 portal is really with the historical timeline of the collective. So marking the ending of that old paternal patterns, the maternal. So there were a lot of videos made on like the mother wounds, the father wounds, or the divine wounded divine feminine wounds, wounded divine masculine wounds. We were working specifically on one area, like let's say last year, and the year before it was another one, or this like few months. So we had these little chances to look into these individually, and finally it was all coming together because we are getting prepared for the union with it, right? Or we had been. And if the souls who haven't done their egoic work or ego death, you will start to experience a lot of releasing, or you will have experienced a lot of intense crying or depression, or feelings of all this like heavy emotions and emptiness. But if you had been doing all of that work before, you would have felt a little bit differently, more like giggly, bubbly. You will still feel that heaviness, but it won't affect you as much. You wouldn't be like just crying all day long or something like that. So it depends on the individual, and it's an indicator, is what I'm going to share. But it's not to say that that one is better or this one is worse, as I'm just speaking from a neutral perspective of just simply sharing the facts and what it is based on what I'm communicating with all these beings and Gaia and Source constantly. So last night, personally, I didn't feel like I wasn't like crying all day long, but I felt this very heavy energy when I was tapping into the collective energy the past few days, very heavily. So I could imagine the people who were like needed to really purge, and this includes all those souls in the spiritual community as well. So it depends, and we can never judge someone by the book, meaning how they appear, what they're doing in their like community or channels. It could be as if they have done the work, but you can never deceive the energies or the frequencies. So I don't know why the word due diligence is coming. Yeah, for some reason. So it was to reveal what they have been abandoning in their inner work, or releasing work, or purging work. And what I'm getting is like, especially if you're a reader or a messenger, you could deliver these things, but it depends on how much inner work that you have been doing, how much this energy was affecting you. And last night, I went to bed after midnight, and I've been staying up very late into the wee hours the past week or so or more, connecting with the energies throughout the night very heavily. And when I closed my eyes, the first thing I saw was the eye of the Ra, or eye of the Horus. You know, like it came with one, but in my mind, Horus and then Ra came all together. It was an eye, but it wasn't like an eye, like as it, I could see like energies like in my third eye. It wasn't like evil like eyes or other eyes, or I could like sense and detect what that is. It was more like it was the Ra, and then immediately I started to see the pyramid, and it was in 3D, so to speak. It was like not like 2D, and the 3D pyramid energy was starting to like move, and then the top of the pyramid just was open, like really like wide open. The energy was open, and then all this light came through, and it was turning not really fast but like slowly, but then it was all open. And before going to bed I was connecting, and then I received more messages, and what came was the new gateway just opened. And then I just went to bed just after seeing that. And then the moment I woke up, I started to recognize the gateway has really opened from today onwards, from the 10th of September 2025, depending on where you are. And you may not really see it or feel it. People call it like quantum jumping or different timeline, however it is. That has opened up, the new gateway has opened up. I don't know why this energy is so like rushing me right now. Yeah, like the GFL Commander Ashtar is really like urging me, pushing me to speak about everything that I was consolidating for this moment. So from today onwards, it will have more division between so-called the old earth or the new earth, or the souls who have been working inside in private or in silence diligently, reviewing their inner work, being self-aware, and looking at their ego aspects, going into their inner child wounds, whatever that is, looking at their patterns of addictions or emotional attachment patterns, and come to a bigger understanding, larger perspective, so they could release. And also looking into their beliefs on lack and limitations that they have been taking on, and working on that. This one side. The other side, basically the word that is coming is bickering. I don't know why that is, but bickering, bitching, like very strong words, very negative, talking very negative, and bickering, bittering on other people, like blaming other people, complaining. Like that's one group. And another group is like in constant manipulation, based on power struggle structures. So there's a lot of the wounded feminine energy in this group, that they like to stay in control through disguise, through deception, through like mask is coming, the masked friendliness, masked kindness, masked something to be perceived as a good person or the good friend, but actually their energy that they're holding is a lot of control, a lot of gossiping energy, a lot of okay, so the energy that I'm tapping into is like they're really being nasty when they're behind closed doors. Is another group that is coming. Another one is very like wood from wounded divine masculine, narcissistic from that point of view. That one-upmanship, that controlling authoritative nature. So this group, like that wounded masculine energy with one-upmanship, using the authoritative power or that energy, holding on to that one-upmanship of feeling superior over the weak or the kind or the loving, because it sees or perceives it as a weakness, or any energy of that carries like an innocence. They're all constantly being triggered to dominate over, control over, so they feel superior in comparison, which is the duality energy. But also at the same time, this group, they feel very inferior inside, and they hide this when they are faced with someone they perceive as more authoritative, has more authority power, more in a higher status, rank, or like this in hierarchical sense. So they play this inferior superior game constantly in order to stay in control. So basically all these groups, different groups that I'm sensing in my spirit team and everyone around me right now, they have me tap into on a collective level. Basically they haven't done the work, meaning they just kept on staying in their comfort zone, meaning what they know best, what they are familiar doing, and that it was creating an illusion of safety or security because they feel like they're in control. And their opportunity was to get into the unknown in order to look into all of these areas from a distance, which is from a place of self-awareness, and that they have to face a lot of their inner fears, which is a very difficult shadow aspect to work with, because it constantly may trigger someone to run away from it and be very bitter about it, or avoid looking into it, or like with very much initial reaction of I don't like that, or I don't want to hear that, like that initial triggering response. So for some reason that is coming, and it's coming on very strong. I see all these different groups in the collective, and I truly do not wish anyone feeling ill or going through pain. That's like from my heart. But I see they have to really face the karmic consequences. And when I say this, I just feel really painful, because I don't want these people to, I know that they're doing more harm than good to other people. But I also know that they are coming from a very painful place, that they just need to look at their pain, like that from a compassionate standpoint, but at the same time, we have to use logical senses to discern at this time. Very much so is something that is coming with the Virgo energy that we are in right now. Because I kept saying these messages that it's not your karma, it's not your job to fix them or help them to see, because your energies, that's how your energy gets entangled, especially for a lot of empaths, earth angels, specific star seeds, a lot of Lemurian souls. So when I tap into these groups, I feel a little bit like it's not like, oh, they deserve it, or like because they didn't do the work, they're now going to suffer the consequences. But like, it's kind of more like, I still wish that they see the pain and then free themselves. So, but they're not doing it. They have given many opportunities, many chances. So now, even as I share this message, it's a little bit painful for me to share that, but they have to really face a severe consequences is what is coming, severe, because these two groups are very much separation. And when I say severe consequences, immediately in duality consciousness sense, people immediately go to a meaning that they have been conditioned with and interpret it as something bad, something horrible, some form of a punishment. But actually it's not to punish them, but it's to help them save themselves. But they only see that as a punishment, and they start to bicker more, they start to be more cynical, hate more, and direct their anger and all this negativity towards other people or other situations or anyone or everything outside of them. You see what I mean? Their focus is still on the outside, not going in. So that's the part of their lesson. And what I'm receiving from Source and Gaia, if they just see and recognize their own action, that they're constantly directing it outside, is a moment of a turning point for them. But they haven't done that. And they will given the opportunity, but as some of you who are connected to this may be aware, they usually whisper in a very nice way. Okay, come here this way, look at yourself and stop directing everything outside, take it out on other people, right? And then they don't listen, right? Or they don't tune in, basically, or they don't pause, basically. And then they keep doing it, and then it gets louder, and it gets louder, and it gets louder, and it starts to show up in a very a form that's like so-called a tower moment, where something's not going right, or it makes them really, really extremely frustrated, so they have to stop and pause and just let everything like surrender, and that's a moment like they're given the opportunity to go in. But even in those moments, they didn't, so they went back to the old patterns. So they're still going to receive that opportunity, but severe in the sense, more challenging forms of life events will start to take place in their life to push them really hard to the corner, for them to wake themselves up, is what I mean by severe consequences. Because people usually get scared of the word consequences immediately in duality consciousness, because they immediately connect that, attach the meaning from that conditioned, from all this religious context and stuff like that, and society, as a form of harsh punishment that leads to some sort of pain that they don't want to feel, that they want to avoid as much as possible. So that's what they're going to experience. Things from this point onward is what I'm going to share. And the board of karma is coming through, and they want me to speak. They want me to continue sharing on this aspect of this cycle right now, because people need to know. And if this is triggering someone, that's the energy that they need to work on. So as long as where I'm coming from, my intention is from a neutral perspective, and then this is the truth, my truth, then they want me to continue. So if you feel scared that, oh my God, I may be in that place, I may have to face these certain events, and you get triggered, basically, then that's the purpose for me sharing this message. So the purpose of this especially this part of the message, is to trigger people. So just revealing the shadow through this light. And that's one of the very difficult part of the mission or the purpose as a light worker in this lifetime. But I understand, and they have a choice of projecting or going inward, and it's up to them. So if you're a light worker, you may relate to what I'm sharing, right? That as you talk to people, you just go around, just your energy could trigger people, what you share. But that's just serving a purpose at a larger sense. So continue to speak your truth with aligned intentions, balanced, highest intentions. So things suddenly may fall to the ground is what is coming. Like something happening at work, they're feeling more burdensome, more stressful situations coming through. Their health may be deteriorating because they haven't taken care of themselves with what they're eating or proper nourishment, but mostly with self-love. That energy is lacking. And also, like relationship-wise, what I'm seeing, it's very hard for me to share these messages because I don't wish them to go through this, but this is just part of the journey. They may have to face very severe, painful experiences within their relationship dynamic, especially if they're married or in a very long-term like partnership or something of that sort. Things will start to get pretty like rocky that is coming. I don't know why is cunning, the word cunning is coming. Like the deceptions that they were playing, the manipulations, and everything will be revealed, coming to the forefront. And it may feel like they want to leave the relationship, but they can't, or they're like very much in conflict, they're very much not happy in a relationship or in their marriage or something of this sort. Like something very severe is going to suddenly begin to take place, and their partners or their husbands or wives or their other counterpart suddenly becoming very bickering once again. Like they're in arguments, fights, and all these sorts, because it's part of that the shadow work that they are being pushed to go into. Circumstantially is what is coming, because before they could have done it in a more peaceful way where they could communicate, or they would communicate to the partner that I need to have my, like alone time to go in, or you could make your time to like look at yourself, meditate or journal, or take care of yourself in that sense. But that had been abandoned. They were playing the role so much. They were playing the part, being the good girl, good boy, like all this good something. Try not to be bad or look bad, or all these ideas is what is coming. So that's that group, the other side. The other group who has been doing the work, purging, very serious shadow work continuously, from this gateway onwards, especially the solar eclipse will be a very crucial rebirth point for a lot of individuals in the collective, in another sense in this group, where you chose light. Basically you chose to align with the light, even in circumstances where you could turn bitter, you could turn, like, you could bicker, you could blame, you could talk negative about the situation, talk negative towards people, like basically direct all that negativity or the triggering energies to other people around. You chose light continuously, and in that moment of choosing light, it helped you remember more and more, and it helped you go deeper into yourself, deeper and deeper and deeper, get to know yourself, to nurture yourself, to love yourself. And if you didn't know how to, you were staying very patient with learning how to love and take care of your inner child or inner teen or your wounds, and also all the shadow aspects, your patterns. Even though it was pretty scary, you went in. Even though it was very triggering, you kept saying, help me to face my fears in these moments of very dark times, right? That's you choosing the light instead of just being, one of the videos, eye for an eye, trying to retaliate, trying to revenge, trying to prove yourself right, prove others wrong. Like, all these energies is very very sticky, very lower in vibration. So you chose to move forward, you chose to stay in, you chose to forgive yourself, meaning release yourself, and also forgive the situations for what it was, forgive the people for the role that they were playing, that they served a purpose for you, and then you released that too. You kept on walking, and you intentionally stayed or chose to be kind to yourself and others around, chose to be very giving and forgiving and helpful, supportive, even in the midst of you going through the toughest challenges. You were still staying very helpful, still staying strong for others and yourself. Still spoke your truth, even if it was very scary. So these energy momentums were building. So these energies were broadcasted out to the universe constantly, right? Because only thing that's real is energy. Once again, the frequencies. And you were doing this from a sincere place. It wasn't to be rewarded, it wasn't to receive something. It was part of who you were. So you were tapping into that, and you kept doing it. And now you're going to also receive that same consequences of the actions, the energies that you chose to broadcast to the universe in this other way. So the consequence in this sense means something, or situations and people coming more into your life that is more freeing, connected to the energy of joy, abundance, prosperity, like creativity, all these energies, more support, because that's the energy that you embody now. So as a result of that, it's simply just in match to that frequency. So that's what you're going to start to experience more. And the energy today, when I woke up, it felt a lot lighter, a lot lighter than the past week or so. And the energy momentum has been building up since the new moon in Virgo. And a lot of people may have experienced a lot of ascension symptoms like this. So for me, they want me to share like my personal journey thus far for anyone that may resonate, or there may be something that could help someone awaken themselves on a soul level, even though you may not be conscious, is what I'm going to share. So I shared in a previous video, sharing my lifetime briefly of Isis and Cleopatra timeline, mostly and especially. And okay, they want me to share more about the energy connected to Gaia at this time. So all the steps, all the journey, all the places, coming down to specific house, especially like even like this house now, this place that I'm staying in is a specific portal, like specific point, energy point, guided by my spirit team, the angelic realm especially. Right in front of me is a huge dragon portal, huge energy portal of fertility of Gaia. So every time I'm connecting, every day, I'm connecting with the energy. I'm doing some sort of energy work with the portal, with the Gaia's energy point right now. And it has been like that though throughout the entire life. And before 2018, when I had that experience like third eye opening and the crown chakra opening, I was deep in amnesia, carrying all these generational karmic energies that basically was really extremely heavy, that I shared a little bit of the experience. Okay, so I just had to pause quickly because and turn on the fan because it was getting really hot. And before 2018, I had all these experiences in real life without knowing, but basically I was pretty much still very intuitive. But there were a lot of the karmic energies, and this character that I was playing was pulling my energy to a certain place. And all my life I was like the black sheep in the family, so-called, meaning I always thought differently, and whenever I spoke up, I had to face a lot of punishment and arguments from my parents basically in this lifetime, and judgments and projections. And I remember ever since I was a child, I would notice what they were really thinking and stuff like that. That was coming very natural to me. And when I said, you're lying, or why are you trying to do this? And I had like different consciousness already without realizing. And that was the purpose. And now I see all these little children, this like little new earth angels that have volunteer on Gaia's invitation. They're very much also connected to source, and they carry very heavy Christ consciousness energy already. And my spirit team had me connect with a few of them, not like physically, but like energetically through the screen, like social media. I recognize them, that what they're playing this role, they're carrying this character, and they're carrying on a very burdensome family karma still, and this is still going on in 2025, and they're usually around the age of 6 to 8. They're very bright souls, and their consciousness or their remembrance is on a different level than when I was, because the energy of the Gaia is different. They could access a lot more of their light power, so to speak, to navigate through, and their circumstances may not be as severe, but I recognize that they're still caring or chose to play this role to clear this karma for Gaia. And they're meant to be on social media because they're meant to share their light. But still, I could relate to their heavy, burdensome energies, because I went through a lot of these burdensome energies basically most of my life. And okay, they want me to also share this one important incident, or this nothing is an accident, this encounter that when I was in Thailand, I think around 2022, at the end of 2022 or like 23, sometime in Bangkok, I was at this huge mall and at this restaurant, and I was getting my food and there was no one around, and I was sitting at this table, and the table like across from me there was like a family that looked like, I shared this like long time ago, maybe like a year or two ago in one of my YouTube videos, that this girl, like they looked Indian to me, and they were wearing like this clothes. I don't know whether they're from like Malaysian Indian or like from India, you know, like in human language sense, or like Pakistan or Sri Lanka, I don't know, but from just on the outside. And I remember they weren't speaking any words. It was very quiet. Nobody spoke, and they just ate. And this little girl, like she seemed very like, you know, nonchalant, and she was eating. And all of a sudden, her soul came through, and she asked me to help her. She's like, "Help me, help me, help me." And I immediately recognized that she's one of the souls who chose to take the karma of the family bloodline. So I immediately sent her like a unicorn and to touch the crown chakra of their parents to have more enlightened awareness, to help her that way. It was all very divinely guided, and it was like the first time that a soul, like just a stranger, and her soul came through and spoke to me. And there were other few encounters like that later on, but that was like with the little child first. And then there was another child when I was in Malaysia. What is it? It's Kota Kinabalu. Especially a lot of the children, like these souls, they speak to me a lot on a soul level. Their soul comes through, and I communicate with them sometimes telepathically. And that this little boy, like I was at this corner cafe, like having this like coffee, and inside the mall, like there's like, they had this little, just like kind of a wooden box, and they call it a like seating area, like basically like 2 or 3 at the max if you squeeze in, like could sit together. It's like kind of little corner like cafe and more like a takeout place. And that spot for some reason was when I was connecting with a lot of my spirit team, so I was there. And then this little boy with 2 other women, one seemed like a mother and the other like seemed like a mother's friend. And he was eating donuts, like donuts meaning like this like very sugary. And then they were like just standing next to me, and the boy was eating standing. So I said, yeah, hey, come on, sit here, sit next to me, it's okay. And I like scooped over, and then the boy sat. And he seemed very nonchalant. And I just adore kids. And then I was like, telepathically, like it just came naturally, like just adoring him. But just that I wish, you know, like it's more like he doesn't eat this kind of stuff because it's full of like chemicals, right? And now I know better. It's like, you know, from a like adult or like a parent or nurturer, like, oh, like, but he's enjoying it. But it was like so adorable, and he didn't say anything. I didn't say anything like in spoken words, and I just like basically adoring him. Like he was just like so adorable. And so he finished eating, and they're like, you know, they were about to leave, and he just seemed so nonchalant. But when he was leaving, he said, "Thank you." And immediately I recognized he received all the messages that I was, like these energies of adoration, like this, like just nurturing energy towards him. He was feeling that, like energetic level, like he was receiving messages on a telepathic level. So a lot of children still have this ability, but they will start to lose this eventually as they learn to conform to society. They get programmed more heavily, and that was just a very adorable moment. But there was another boy when I was in Bali. He was from US, and he was carrying a specific message, and all of a sudden he just sat right next to me and started to fly his kite that carried a message, and his name was carrying a message, and we had this brief conversation. He was from Florida, and I met his dad because his kite was like, he lost his kite, and we were running to get back the kite, and his dad came, oh, like, I got it, and then, you know, I just left. But there was a like brief encounter where he seemed like he doesn't know what he's doing, but on a soul level that I know that we are communicating and connecting, there's a purpose. So that's what happens. Okay, and they also want me to share, I don't know why they want me to share these like things, but I will continue. In 2023, it was all contracted. I was connecting with two individuals who are reincarnated. One Baset and the other Zachmet. They held a lot of deceptive energies, very much still in the ego play. So that was the first time that my spirit team had me encounter and learn more about the spiritual ego, or the dark side in the spiritual community that I was never aware of, because before I was just on my own, communicating with my spirit team alone, telepathically, and then they were guiding me, and then I was doing all the shadow work, activating something within my energy, like Kundalini and everything, and blah blah blah. And then they had told me that I'm going to meet someone, but they don't usually give me the specifics. But I recognized the energy, and then I could tell like the crown chakra going wild. But it was very challenging because I had to go connect with the Isis timeline, and then transmute a lot of this dark energy surrounding that time period and connect it to the energy of Isis. And they came through for a specific purpose. They had played a role, but they were very manipulative, there was a lot of narcissistic energies. And then I was dissecting all of their energies in my dream time, waking hours, non-stop. and verifying, and then confirming, verifying, confirming. So that's how and there were a lot of interferences with other entities to make me confused and to stay caught up in that like very shadowy energies, which was one of the very challenging moments throughout this journey thus far. Apart from the energies of Australia, of going into the dark or this shadow world, underworld. So I remember in my sleep time, they don't realize that they're seeing everything, watching everything, and picking up on everything. And they were still playing the game, even though I would share certain things. And it was very interesting for me because I thought they would know, but they didn't. They think that they were fooling me basically, or manipulating me, or gaslighting. And in my sleep time, one of them, the Basset, her soul came through, and her soul was beautiful, beautifully loving. Like on a soul level, we are all very loving. And we just, when it comes to this human character that we are playing, that's where all this like things are playing out. This bitchy bickering, or manipulative, or this like narcissistic, and all this like very toxic. But on a soul level, like, so I would communicate on a soul level, but when I woke up, like when I was communicating like in person to person, in human form, there was a lot of ego play. Okay, so why do you want me? Why are you pushing me or nudging me to share these stories? Like there's everyone around me right now, like all these beings that I shared at the beginning of the videos. Okay, the purpose and intention behind me sharing these things, it's all from a neutral perspective. It's not like I hold any grudges on this specific individual or their soul, but it's just that this human form is not who you are, basically, is what they want me to emphasize. That on a soul level, that you are a beautiful, loving being. Whether you are playing this, it's basically you are in pain if you are very negative, or sending negativity in different forms to situations or outside yourself, believing that you are hiding from that, but that's the energy that you're broadcasting, so you have to recollect it. You see how that works, the cause and effect that I have been emphasizing. So it's not too late for you or anyone resonating to clean the act up, is what is coming. Clean your act up. And at the time, there were a lot of messages. So the 222 at the pyramid was an important pivotal point. So that 222 in 2022 at the pyramid was a very initial point, is what I'm going to share for. That was the preparation to come to the 999, interestingly. Okay, that's what they want me to share. And then the year after, in 2023, the 3-3 was very, very important, especially in March 2023. Oh, that's 2023. That was another very important activating point for Gaia to come to this point of 999. And in 2025, the 7-7 and 8-8 portal was a huge one, opening up that rainbow portal, opening up that gateway. So the message that have been coming is like that song. It came like about a month ago, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and it was sung by this Hawaiian singer. Somewhere over the rainbow, you know, like, so that was the message, like we are crossing the rainbow bridge, and that's the portal of the infinite possibilities. And that portal, you know, we, from a duality consciousness point of view, or a lot of the old concepts of things, especially also in spiritual communities as well, it's tied to the idea of abundance, that's tied to the idea of having more material things attracted to you, like more money, more success, more this, more that. That's all anchored to that energy of the age of empire, or the age of centralized power, age of authority over, that have been emphasized, all these things. But actually we are moving to a very different consciousness that people are very unfamiliar with. And one of my purpose is to help people to get introduced, because after that it's up to them whether they will further deepen their knowledge and understanding. But for me, at least, to introduce these new concepts and consciousness that they may be puzzled, or they think that it's funny, but actually it's really not. It's or it doesn't make sense, but that's the whole purpose. So it's all up to the individuals how they interpret, whether they are being awakened with that, or they're being touched with some sort of consciousness within them, or they're being triggered. It's all serving a different purpose. And that 888 portal, where I share the huge rainbow portal that I basically connected with. So it's like my energy was opening up that portal as well, or adding the energy with that rainbow portal, because that was my contract with Gaia. And at the time I was in Siem Reap, Cambodia, connecting heavily with the energy of Angkor Wat. And that rainbow portal, the purpose of that was to bring in that infinite possibilities for 999 this year. So this year, we talk about 888 as a very important portal, like usually in general. But I would say this year, the 999 is the peak, or the portal of the portal. That is what is coming this year, as we are ending this huge cycle. So a lot of souls the past year or more so, I constantly emphasize in my videos that the individuals are given the opportunity to align with a different timeline. So all these energies, so actually I just stopped the video because I needed to take a quick bathroom break, and then I came back and I forgot, and when I just went to the bathroom I received further information, so I just forgot what I was talking about completely, and they want me to share about the Neptunian energy that we are about to connect further before moving on to the another new energy, new opening, new beginning energy in 2026. about like a month or two ago, I suddenly felt called to tap into and look into all these energies of 2022, 23, 24, 25, and also the upcoming ones, 26, 27, 28, 29, like up to 32. With my knowledge thus far in that Chinese astrology, Chinese, like we call it Saju in Korean. It's very commonplace in a lot of this East Asian culture, where based on your birthday, birth date, and time that you were born, the place, there's like a calculation that you can make, and it divides basically into the month, the day, the month, the year, and the time of that you're born, basically representing the day as you, your identity, and month as your parents or your job, what you're supposed to do, like the year as your ancestral energies, and month as the time as your future energy or the children, if you're meant to have one. And it's like divided into like yin and yang, and also the metal, wood, fire, water, earth elements, and then there are a lot of different other elements. And like I believe like all my life, especially like since I don't know, like in mid-20s or towards the end of my 20s, I start to get interested in a lot of this astrology all of a sudden, and numerology, and all this like feng shui and all of that. It was because I already had all this information with me, but I needed to tap into it once again, to connect to it intuitively, to be utilized for this time. So that's what I have been doing. So based on that, there was a time that I was like studying these things naturally, because I would always, for some reason, not forget someone's birthday. I'll remember their birthday even if it's just someone just blurted out and I just happened to take it on. And I remember like I enjoyed analyzing these, like studying. So I studied based on the energy, I studied the energy of 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So the 25 to 27 will be another 3-year, very much the gestation period. And from the 27, 24, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 will be a very, it's all connected. That 3-year in that time will be all very much connected, very heavily tied to the metal and earth energy, solidifying energy. And then from 31, 32, like the energy is completely shifting. And this like 3-year cycle is very pivotal point right now. And there are a lot of things that are going to start to take place. You know, there's okay, the word that is coming is scheduled to have that extraterrestrial disclosure that serves a specific purpose, not just the opening up the consciousness of the collective. There will be a lot of other tools and resources that the humanity will be gifted with, is the word that is coming, for us to utilize to build a new earth on a different structure and foundation that is in harmony with nature and Gaia, and a different kind of technology or science is what is coming. But that idea of science and technology is very different from what we consider science and technology, that has been conditioned with certain ideas and concepts of what it is, that is rooted in the age of duality, or that age of darkness experimentation. And that energy of very lower self-sabotaging, timeline of the AI and all this tech developments will be separated from this new Earth eventually. So we need new energies, new technology, new concepts of science. And that's one of the purpose of the extraterrestrial disclosure, is what I'm going to share. And the Greys are coming through, okay? The Greys are also with me, the benevolent ones, the ones that are here to help Gaia, here working with GFL at this time. So at the time, in March 2023, they had me connect with the energy of the King Arthur, the Excalibur energy, which they've been constantly giving me the information since the year before, in 2022, at the end of 22, the Excalibur. And then in my dream time, I was taken to Neptune, or my soul traveled to Neptune, and it was so vivid, and it was like a very different experience than just like a regular experience that I had in my astral space. I remember being at this gate. There was this giant crystal with violet flame. So that's the violet flame of oneness. And it was in Neptune. And so at the time, that's the only energy that I had, that I knew, that I was in Neptune, the giant crystal, the violet. And later, I was tapping into it in due time or divine timing to remember and connect back. And now I understand, like they usually give me all this information like years in advance. So, but it's not that I know everything, but they give me little keys and clues. So back then, so I was meant to connect with that energy, to carry certain things, to open up certain energies in certain points of Gaia, that they have me guiding me through all these different places. And even down to the number of floors that I'm on, the number of is like the house number, it's all connected specifically, and I pick up on these messages all the time. And right here, I'm in Hawaii, but where I am is a portal that I'm connecting to the Aztec constantly, activating something in different dimensions. So my soul, I know, like even now I'm aware, I'm physically here connecting on this earth plane. Also, my other consciousness is in a different timeline and different dimensions. It's like very like simultaneously going on and bringing all that, like consolidating everything constantly. That's how I can best describe. And like I'm getting more clarity as the journey goes on, and they gave me more information. And what I'm getting is the oneness, right? That we've been working very heavily, the oneness, bringing that unity within. That was for this 9-9 portal. To doing all the inner shadow work of the divine masculine, divine feminine, that you think that it's connected to your individual lifetime. Yes, it is. And at the same time, it is constantly connected to the collective energy, collective wounds that we all carry as humanity at this time. That this human being character that you are playing, if you're a starseed, you will know, right? That your origin is not from here, but you're a volunteer. And that's why you carry different levels of consciousness already in your DNA. And based on your spiritual ranking, it's all different as well. But on a human level, we're also playing this human. Yeah, it's just something that people may not get it, but I'm still going to share to introduce someone who resonates. So I was taken to Neptune, connected with that energy, and that energy was to continue to build momentum for the 7-7 portal when I was in Bali, to open up that Lemurian portal with other souls that I cannot identify on a human level, whether they're reincarnated right now at this time on Earth, or it was energetic, or I was traveling back to that dimension or that timeline. But I was with other female energies. It wasn't just me. We were in a group together and we were opening up that portal. That was to help bring that energy of the divine feminine flow state energy. And also at this time, one of my very heavy purposes is to share and help people understand so that they can embrace and embody and integrate this flow state energy that is necessary for them to embody for years to come, especially from 2032. So there's like a prep period. And for that, it started in Bali, and I was guided to go to all these different energy points, ocean and like beach areas, to connect with the energy, open up something there, carrying that energy with me. And then when I was guided to go to Sydney, Australia, that specific area called I forgot the name. Yeah, that specific place, Bondi. I was constantly traveling to the old timelines of 1800s and going to the underworld, which was another second very challenging, I would say, after the Egyptian timeline. Going into the underworld is like getting punched left and right constantly, like on a physical level, as an analogy, like you're on and then you have to learn to like get hit constantly and learn to pivot and boom, and then boom, but getting hit was very tough, and the energy that I was tapping into, the 1800s and 1900s, the energy that was being held in that point of Gaia, where the purpose of that was to activate the 12D galactic dragons, to call them in to Gaia, which the energy was being ready. And I'm just hearing these voices because, people will think that, she's opening that up and she's doing that, which may sound like old fantasy movie-like and but that's the truth. So I'm continuing to share my truth, because that's how people are going to respond. Some may be drawn and be very curious and want to learn more, and some things resonating on a soul level. Different level of consciousness may have certain ideas and concepts, and they will perceive it from that point of view. So everything is perspective. So the reason why, the purpose of me sharing this a little bit is because Source and Gaia and my spirit team, like Commander Ashtar, they're really pushing me to continue to kind of showcase that, to continue to speak your truth, because there's going to be a lot of different energies that we are surrounded by. But it's not our job to pay attention to that or give attention to that, because your purpose is to be your truth, speak your truth, because in that is a purpose. You see what I mean? So you will know if you resonate. So that portal has been opening up so that the 12D galactic dragons could come through and then burn away, transmute, clear up all these lower vibration energies that's anchored to Gaia. And before, we were able to connect with dragons, but it wasn't the 12D galactic dragons. Their energy is much more powerful. And Hawaii is another huge dragon portal. It has been. And then with that, both flow state portal opening, that consciousness gateway opening last year, and then 888, the infinite possibilities, meaning allowing souls to align to their highest timeline, or however that is for, however that means for you in human language sense, meaning simply joining the new earth. And new earth requires different levels of light, different amounts of light, different levels of consciousness. So all the heavy energies of the dark, or meaning the shadow, has to be transmuted or transformed into the light. And we call that process oneness, unionizing. So and that's where the pyramid energy is so like pivotal. It's all coming together to one, the eye of the storm, the third eye opening, to navigate through all these illusions, deceptions, and then all these like sneaky manipulations you see through, and you cut them off, cut them off, cut them off, cut them off. That's how you move forward on earth at this time. And that energy point, okay, what is coming is that energy point, because the earth has been shifting. That pyramid point, when it was built, it was in an exact point that was aligned with Sirius. It was like a gateway for other beings to connect with the earth, because back then the earth was very dense in frequency, and that was the portal. But during the age of darkness period or experimentation, the earth shifted, so it wasn't in that aligned point. And so what I saw with that opened gateway last night, just after midnight, was that it realigned. So that's in alignment with the message that I constantly emphasize the past like couple of days, to release, realign. Because realign meaning you're aligning with the new earth energies. And this is like the gateway that was so huge. I don't know, just like, it is so huge that I know that I feel like I wish people know this so badly, so they take it very seriously. And that's just coming from like more like a kind of like a mother nurturing nature from my my energy standpoint, you know. But it's all up to them. But it's like, this is just so huge that it's so huge, not just for individuals, for collective, for humanity. So that's where I received the message of soul and humanity constantly ever since I was in what was it? Was it not Philippines? Vietnam, Hanoi. So all these places I was connecting with water. Hanoi means city inside the water. So moving from that, we need this flow state energy consciousness, and it's also going to clear up all these lower concepts and ideas that have been developed and was anchoring to Gaia, especially in the spiritual community, about the idea of manifestation and idea of abundance and all this. Everything needs to be shifted 180 degrees or 360 degrees, like turn it upside down. Like that's the energy that is coming in. Or downside up. And last night, the message that came after midnight was up, 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 up. So the pyramid energy is now fully open. And that's also, okay, what I'm getting is connected to the extraterrestrial disclosure event that's about to take place in the coming days, coming years. We don't know when, right? But the Gaia's energy is ready for that. And that pyramid energy that I saw, that top of it opening, and the past few days, the Ascended Master has been coming through very heavily, and I was connecting with the energy of Himalayas, which they had me connect with the past 2 years consistently from time to time, and the Nepal, all that area, Tibet. That energy of purification was also needed for the alignment or the realignment or getting back to the light of the pyramid energy. Boom. And that's tied to the energy of the 222 portal that I didn't know exactly why I felt called to be there and add the energy to opening that portal, but that was the whole purpose for me being there. So they just want me to share like all this journey that I've been on for some reason. And another thing, maybe you may have to feel, you may have to let go of everything that you knew, that everything that you thought and believed that you would have or be around till you die in this lifetime. You just have to completely, fully go into the unknown of the emptiness. That's the energy of the zero. So like the entire month, ever since I got to Hawaii, I start to connect with a lot of the energy of the zeros, but it's like 101, 202, 303, 404, 505, 606, 707, 808, 909, and 1010 with the reflection mirroring energy of 1001 and 1212, as in 12 like 1221, and 1111 are basically mirroring the same energy. So all these numbers in signs and synchronicities were constantly coming in all together for us to align all our 7 chakras first in our physical vessels to cross the rainbow bridge. So that's where a lot of the lam, ham, lam, vam, ram, like that energy clearing and alignment that I also made a quick video and shorts, was to help people or any individuals coming into contact with that video to help them. And so that's connected to the energy of the oneness of that violet flame in Neptune. And the past few months, they had me connect heavily with the energies of South America, different energies, especially like Bolivia, Peru, Brazil specifically. And then all of a sudden, I started to connect very heavily with the energy of Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro the past couple of months, very heavily. And suddenly all of that energy of Rapa Nui and the Stonehenge. So back in 2023, I remember waking up in my sleep time because I received an information that, you know, I was like so in urgency that I need to go to Stonehenge. I feel like I needed to go to Stonehenge, and there was this like crystal that contains the Christ consciousness energy that I brought from the Mount Sinai in Egypt to connect with the energy of the Moses and the Palladians and the Assyrians and the Yeshua and all that timeline. And I remember telling these two other souls, like Beset and Zachman, like at the time, that I need to go to Stonehenge and put this crystal in the Stonehenge to activate the higher heart. And I was so in like the urgency of that. I felt like I needed to like book my flight the next month and then just fly there and do this. But actually it was the information that they gave me for this timeline right now. So eventually I had to ground my energy, and then I had to come to more clarity of what that was. So just a few days ago, the energy of Rapa Nui started to come through, which had been coming through like the energy of Chile and that Rapa Nui energy like sometime last year, and then once again like about a few weeks ago, and then just together, and it's in alignment with the energy of that Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. There's an activation that's to take place that's also connected to this energy of Hawaii right now that I shared in one of the recent videos about the energy of fertility. This part of this specific line that I'm in is connected to the fertility point of Gaia of this particular location in Hawaii, but it's now blocked. That energy point of the stream, the water coming from the top of the mountain, leading to the ocean, where this whole ground was the agricultural land and fertility. That energy has been blocked, and now there's like a big shopping center at that energy point, which is very heavy and dense with a lot of these different human traffic, so-called, carrying a lot of lower vibration energies, and also there's energies like with hotels and stuff like that. So I understand why I'm here at this specific point. And then it's now connecting to the Neptunian energy that's to be activated next in Brazil, to further help people to elevate the level of consciousness in regards to the idea of flow, or the flow state, so-called. Allowing the souls to lead the way, meaning your heart's desires to lead the way rather than your egoic desires or egoic needs. And that's what we've been preparing our entire life this far, and especially which started in 2012, and then, you know, like this different points, and very heavily and intensely the past couple of years, I would say, starting from 2022. And I remember when I was guided to go to Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt after Dahab. They had me connect with the ocean water there. That was connected to my Isis timeline as well as my Cleopatra timeline at the same time. All these different timelines were connected to the Gaia's ascension. So it was like all in delicate design that I lived that lifetime, that I had that soul experience on purpose to align all these karmic energies, different like specific energy points to that of Gaia at this time, to clear something up, open something up, connect with it, or something of that nature that I know now very clearly. And so coming to this, that I remember in that highest timeline energy started to come through in, I believe, like April or May in 2022. I was in Chamuel and I was heavily connecting with the energy of the sun very much at the time, especially sunset energies. And one day I was just meditating, and all of a sudden I was saying, I'm aligned with my highest self and highest timeline, all of a sudden out of nowhere. And I thought that I was it just was very different from, it wasn't like I wasn't intending on doing an affirmation or doing something like that, but it just came to my mind and I was saying it, and that was, in hindsight, that was the energy started to open up after the 222 successfully opened. Around that time, the souls were starting to have this idea of highest timeline and started walking towards, and then 3-3 with the 33 petals, the heart chakra needed to open up further. So from that point onwards, on March 2023, there was intense, very heavy, intense shadow work, ego death process has been taking place to get us prepared for this oneness inside, therefore outside, or the union within, therefore union outside, however it is. So 2023, March 2023, 33 energy was very pivotal in that sense for us to work on the heart energy, going through the divine wounded, wounded divine masculine, wounded divine feminine, all this here and there, here and there, here and there, to now, 999. So that's what I mean by the work. And then in 2020, I believe, was it 2024, at the beginning of 2024, yeah, I received this message from the angelic realm, the energy of the Pluto, the Andromeda, and all these other planets, Saturns, all this Arcturus, to support the regeneration, purification process of purifying, recalibrating, and then regenerating that energy. So that energy has still been going on. And Pluto for turning the root chakra from survival into the platinum like the silver platinum color, where it's shining again, as an example, and Andromeda as the higher heart, to open up our higher heart. So all these energies were supporting us in the midst of this heavy, dark, intense ego death that was the word that is coming is scheduled to help individuals and the collective at the time. So we received the help, and we were doing work one by one, even though it was challenging to come to 999 here. So from this point onwards, you know, we still don't know. I still don't know what to expect next, because that's the part of the journey. They're always giving me the just right amount of information in that divine timing, so I always trust that. And the part that they want me to share, so this message will be, okay, this video will be specifically for 144,000. Okay, 144,000. So whether you recognize yourself as 144,000 light workers, or you don't, but somehow you're being pulled, that you're connecting to the energy and the messages here, there is a purpose in your unique journey, is what I'm going to share. And then it's all coming together. So they want me to like review this journey and share. And so next is the Neptunian energy, opening up that Neptunian energy. And I don't know whether I'll be connecting to that, bringing that violet flame. Something that you can do is you can always call onto the violet flame, and then imagine and visualize yourself inside that violet flame energy, and intending to receive the energy of oneness to help you go through whatever unionization within that you are working on in this specific time, is what I'm going to share. Because that energy has been being available since 2024 with that purification process of cleansing, regeneration, recalibration, all that I shared at the time. There's higher light codes that's available. And okay, the word that is coming is hang tight. Just hang tight a little bit more. Whatever that you need to release, because this eclipse is to reveal truth, and to help you realign with the truth, so that you can be the truth, meaning speak the truth, share the truth, without fear than before. So that's why you were holding on, because you had that fear, and that's why it felt really heavy. And that's where that video that I made on YouTube Shorts that came, that the most tiring thing that you could do is not being who you are, not being able to be who you are, express who you are, express how you feel. You just hold everything on out of whatever form of fear that you may need to recognize and shed light on to be released. So that is what is taking place right now, and it's very unique to every individual. So honor your unique journey instead of comparison, right? So that you can focus on your inner journey. And that the solar eclipse will be like a very transformative period for all the individuals, whether it's with that severe consequences of that heavy, challenging energies coming, pushing them to the corner to wake them up, or whether it's to help individuals feel a lot more freer to be who they are, be all that they are, express all that they are without fear, without hesitancy, without self-doubt. That's the energy that we need to embody, and we must embody that energy, because that's the new earth frequency. Okay, Gaia is coming through right now for some reason. What do you want me to share at this time for this collective, Gaia? So you did not come here just randomly, is what I'm going to say. You came here on my invitation. You came here to help me, meaning Gaia, help Gaia. And because you were invited, because you are capable, we saw your capability. We recognized already your spiritual powers, that you could do this. So trust your power, trust your inner light, and continue doing so. It's a big message that is coming from Gaia for anyone that may resonate, even though you may be deep in the process of just waking up, not fully remembering. I also had to go through the whole journey from complete amnesia to waking myself up one by one, remembering. And everyone's journey is different. My journey, I chose to do it on my own, with my spirit team alone. But you may be doing so with other physical mentors, or through some sort of teachings. It's all different and unique. And it's all depending on your soul signature. Okay, so with the coughing, what is coming is that this time a lot of the throat chakra clearing, the further clearing to embody truth will be taking place. So if you feel any of the ascension symptoms, like feeling like you're catching a cold or physical fatigue or certain symptoms, it's to open up that access gateway in your chakra, especially the throat that's connected to the higher heart, that we've been working heavily on. And also the sacral at this time. The sacral energy is very key in aligning you or realigning yourself to that of the flow state. So that's where all this energy of the hulas and shaking of that hip energy, that's to balance out the energy, all that transmission that came through with all this Polynesian ancestors that I was connecting to when I soon after I arrived here, that I shared in one of my videos, and also further on the YouTube the Patreon exclusive transmission. Is there anything else? So it's very interesting. Everyone's like with me right now. Everyone. So we are moving to a very different era from this point onwards. Still, there are a lot of works to be done, but just know that energy completely shifted. And if you believe so, that's where you are. You're in a very different timeline as you connect to Sydney's message, my message right now. So if you are connecting with this message and these words, you are already in a different timeline, is what I'm going to share as confirmation for someone that may resonate, is coming from Ascended Masters for some reason. And in this timeline, there will be other sets of challenges, meaning growth experiences, for you to continue to cross that rainbow bridge. But as the portal of the rainbow portal has been opened, since last year during 888. If you feel like you sort of in a human language sense made a mistake and missed the alignment, on the next moment you have the opportunity to realign, because that infinite potentiality of infinite possibilities, meaning infinite timelines, the parallel timelines have opened up, the infinite possibilities, opportunities. So you can always realign, meaning go back to your center. And in that center, you're in union within. You are one within. That is the oneness. And with that, you're going to navigate through to your next chapter of your life, or the next phase of this human collective journey, as well as your individual journey, is what I'm going to share. They want me to share. Everyone's coming through. And we know that if you're connected to this energy, you have the highest intentions for everyone, even though people in the past may have put you in difficult situations, may have put you in pain. You still have a lot of love for them, even though you walked out from them. But you also are a warrior inside. You know when to bring your sword and be cutthroat. At the same time, you'll know when to bring your cup, to pour your heart out. The key is moderation. The key is temperance, meaning the balance that we are getting ready in October with the Libra energy. That you already embody a lot of the balanced energies within, and continue to hone in on and carry the energy with you as we are further to connect with the Neptune, is what I'm going to share. So okay, I know why they mention Neptune, but they only want to mention it here. They want me to end it here, because that's what the collective or the public needs to know at this time, not any further. But there will be a lot of unfolding events, a lot of different experiences awaiting for individuals who have, in a way, cross this little bridge, is what is coming. This little bridge. There are different bridges leading to another one, like a rainbow bridge in a sense. So this one was like crossing up the huge little one. I don't know if that makes sense, but that is what is coming. You crossed it. You actually crossed it this time on the 10th of October. And next year, the 111 energy is going to be very strong. So we need to stay grounded. We need to stay centered and balanced. We need to continue to plant seeds of actions and intentions from the heart space of heart desires, no ego desires, okay? And that has to do with the Neptunian energies. The Neptune's going to help us clear up. The further clearing up of the egoic desires will start to take place after the solar eclipse, as we enter into the Libra season, is what is coming for me to share at this time for the collective. Okay, so this video, this message, it feels like it's a little bit like here and there, but everything is with a purpose, is what I'm going to share. So take however resonates for you. And if you do not resonate with everything, it's okay. If you feel triggered, it's okay. Just remember, it's not what happens, but it's about what you do with what happens. So you can always, you have the power to make your trigger continue to pain you or to liberate you. Okay, is the last message for someone that may resonate. The Ascended Master's energy is very strong for some reason. It's to activate the wisdom codes within your DNA is what is coming right now. It is to help individuals prepare for the Neptunian energies that is to come, October, November time. So I'm just guided to give this quick light codes sharing as it's coming through with Ascended Masters to lift your burdens. Hauata, huataiata, hua, 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 hua. To support, to enter into your higher level of consciousness or widening of your perspective, however you resonate with these terms, is coming. So also the 12D galactic dragons are coming through with the transmission, but they want me to share this on Patreon for equal energy exchange. So anyone who wishes genuinely to support my energy in pure reciprocation, appreciation, and to support me for everything that I'm sharing to help and support you and individuals, I appreciate you for supporting me on Patreon. And then with that, I will further continue recording this separate transmission and put it there. With that, I know that the energy could have been very tough the last few weeks, but you are here. If you are here, you made it, whatever that means for you, right? That you will know on a soul level that you're always being seen and heard by the universe, and your spirit team, guides, however they are, that you believe they are, continue to connect and work with them to stay in, to work inside you at this time and in the coming days ahead. So with that, I'm sending you lots of love from me to you, wherever you are in this world. I love you, I appreciate you, and I hope this helps. And I'll see you in my other videos. Bye.